Hello and welcome to the BBS show. I am your host and my name is Jonathan. So wonderful to be with you once again. Now let's talk about some statistics. Do you know that in 2016, a 50-year-old Mary from Kilifi County in Kenya began experiencing heavy bleeding that continued for extended periods of time? Embarrassed as she was, she hid the problem from her family for almost a year. When she could no longer hide it, she was accurately diagnosed with cervical cancer. Now, she visited multiple hospitals in Kilifi and Mombasa area of Kenya, where she underwent several medical procedures and even consulted several traditional healers, but all to no avail. She ultimately succumbed to death to the disease called cervical cancer. Now, these stories of cancer patients in low and middle income countries in Africa are strikingly similar, just like that of Bose, who was a primary school teacher in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. She ignored lumps in her left breast because she felt they were harmless lumps and that breast cancer is only a disease suffered by the rich. She also died due to complications of breast cancer. Now, imagine such misconceptions happening in Africa. Do you know that awareness and knowledge about cancer is very, very important in cancer survival? And do you know that according to the World Health Organization, at least 1/3 of all cancer cases globally are preventable? People spend time and money to seek care, often at an advanced stage of the disease, when survival prospects are very, very poor and actually very grim. Some struggle with stigma, particularly for reproductive cancers such as cervical cancers, ovarian cancers, and of course breast cancers. Now, breaking this vicious circle of limited awareness, late health-seeking behavior, and poor outcomes, it is critical to tackling cancer, which is one of the leading causes of death in low and middle income countries in Africa. Now, look at it today. Cancer kills more people globally than HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined, with a disproportionate share of these deaths in low and middle income countries. And do you know that low and middle income countries are almost all the countries in Africa? Think about that. Newly diagnosed cancer cases jumped from 14 million cases in 2012 to 18 million in 2018, and cancer deaths from 8.2 million in 2012 to 9.6 million in 2018, highlighting a growing global epidemic. Researchers say that by 2020, it is estimated that there will be over 22 million cases of cancer and nearly 13 million cancer-related deaths worldwide. Such a grim statistics. Do you know that half of all these cases and all these deaths will occur in poor countries which are not prepared to deal with these rising numbers? In Africa, in Asia, even third world countries in Europe. I guess you didn't know that there are third world countries actually in Europe. The most common incident cancers and those causing deaths are associated with smoking, obesity, and of course sedentary lifestyle, not also forgetting genetic formation, and hence can be prevented if detected early by avoiding premature deaths and of course the suffering associated with cancer. Cervical cancer, for example, is a disease that is highly preventable and curable if caught early. Cervical cancer is one of the most common cancers in women in Africa and of course all low and middle income countries actually. Now, in 2018, about 85% of all cases and deaths globally occurred in low and middle income countries, even though vaccination and early detection and treatment of precancerous lesions can effectively reduce the incidence of, guess what, cervical cancers and of course other cancers. Now look at breast cancer. If breast cancer is detected early and treated right, you have a very high chance of survival. Yet, global disparities in survival rates are massive. Take this example. A woman diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States has over 90% chance of survival compared to a woman in Nigeria or in Uganda, in Mozambique or in Namibia who has less than 20% chance of survival. Now, what do you think is the difference? The difference is just the awareness ratio. The awareness ratio of people living in the United States and people living in Africa. So awareness is key. Like they always say, early detection is always the key to surviving cancer. Consider these cancer prevention tips all the time. Don't use tobacco. Using any type of tobacco puts you on a collision course with cancer. You also have to eat a healthy diet. You have to maintain a healthy weight and be physically active. You need to protect yourself from the sun. Get vaccinated. You need to avoid risky behaviors. And most importantly, get regular medical care. All right. So that is what we have for you today. Once again, we want to enjoin you to be vigilant and to be conscious. If you like this video and you want to hear videos like this come up from us here at the MAGDALENE IYAMU Cancer Foundation, make sure you subscribe to the BBS show with Jonathan. Remember, be brave to survive. God loves you and so do we.